If there was just four things you could do to finally lose your love handles, would you try it? Well, there is, and I'm going to do a full explanation here. I got 5 tips actually, but there's 4 things that you need to do in order to finally lose those love handles. So, number one, I would not do crunches. Spot reduction is mostly a myth. Um, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard it. You might be like, that's obvious. I already know that. And you might not have, and I don't mean any offense by it if you feel like it's not obvious to you. But you can't crunch your way to having no love handles. You can't do, oblique crunches or twists or anything like that. There is this like running theory right now that maybe you can, I think it's called the mobilization fat theory or something, where you can do crunches and then immediately do cardio right after. And because the blood is in those muscles, it's more likely to pull the fat from that area. Maybe. But it doesn't even matter. Even if you could do that, you just wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to lose body fat from a specific area and then everything else, just leave the body fat everywhere else. So you want, the body fat coming from your entire body. I just wouldn't worry about it. There's so much lower hanging fruit and things you can do to actually get rid of total body fat, which is going to help you get rid of your love handles. So I would not spot reduce. Crunches burn hardly any calories. You need to be doing the other things on this list. And so we're going to get into those now. So number 2 is going to be track calories and protein. So first, look up online your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure calculator, TDEE calculator. Look that up, put in the numbers. That'll give you a starting point. Then start tracking your food, at least for a couple weeks, just because you're going to be surprised by how many calories are in this or how many calories are in that. And it'll help you make better decisions going forward, especially with higher fat items such as peanut butter and stuff. It's going to be really good for you to know, this is something that probably shouldn't be in my diet very often because it's hard for me to not overconsume on it. And controlling your calories is by far going to be the number one way that you can lose your love handles. Also is going to be your protein. So you have to track your food to know your protein. I really need to figure out this light situation, but 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein. The reason you want to get a lot of protein, it isn't just like a bro gym thing. The reason you want to get a lot of protein is, number one, protein is very satiating. It's very filling. A chicken breast is going to sit on your stomach and fill you up. A steak, whatever, is going to sit on your stomach a lot longer and fill you up a lot better than French fries. It's shocking how, small, like a medium French fry. I'll look it up right now. I wonder if I can. And still, medium French fry, McDonald's, calories. A medium French fry, which, let's get real. Most of us can eat. You gotta be kidding me. There we go. You know what? That's not as high as I thought. 365 calories, but still, it's shockingly high. You add a burger to that, a number 4 or whatever at McDonald's, and I don't know what a number 4 is, but I'm assuming it's a burger. Then you are adding a shocking amount of calories. So eating more protein is going to fill you up, but also it is going to increase your the calories that you're burning just simply digesting the food. So it's called the thermogenic effect of food, and protein is the highest thermogenic effect. So I think for every 100 calories you eat of protein, you get like 70 calories, like usable calories, because it took about 30% of what you took in just to digest it. So that's cool. You get kind of free calorie burn. But most importantly, you keep your muscle. On a weight loss diet, the biggest risk is a person losing muscle along with fat. And you're always going to lose a little bit of muscle probably in the end. But if you work out, and we're going to talk about that, if you exercise and you eat enough cardio, sorry, I was reading my sign, and you eat enough protein, you're going to keep most of your muscle, and your basal metabolic rate or your metabolism isn't going to drop. And by the end, you either have to continue eating like a bird or continue suffering in order to keep up your results. So, a lot of people regain their weight, and it's probably, at least one major factor of it is probably because they lost muscle along the way. And now they're not burning a lot of calories, just simply existing, moving, and walking. And so, and they didn't build the habits along the way, but that's a different story. So eat enough protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you have a lot of fat to lose, though, I would do 1 gram per pound of like what you see as your ideal, and then go a little bit above that. So let's say you're 270 pounds and you want to be 180 pounds. I would eat like 200 grams. Why can't I talk today? 200 grams of protein. And so, just call it even. You could do 190. It's not going to hurt you. It's just really, I think like 0.8 grams per pound of body weight is like sufficient for sure in the literature, but you may as well go a little bit above for the other reasons that I listed, such as keeping you more full, reducing your calories because you're more full, and therefore making weight loss even easier. So number 3, do lots of cardio. Now, I normally talk about, if you watch my other videos, I normally talk about steps separately, but here, steps is going to be kind of built into cardio. Whenever a person is doing a lot of cardio, whenever one of my clients are doing a lot of cardio, I don't have them track steps nearly as strictly, because I want them to, be focusing on their cardio. They're going to get a lot of steps anyway, even if the cardio they're doing isn't steps based. Steps is just a way of measuring total movement. So if you're getting 30 minutes of cardio every single day, I think the total movement ends up being okay. Now I'm gonna since I just mentioned, time, let me go into how long should you be doing this for like a cardio session. I would do 3 to 5 days a week at least. So maybe start with 3, build up to 4, build up to 5, try to get to 6, of 30 minutes at least. The more you do, the better results you're going to get. Now, with that said, I wouldn't just jump in the deep end getting all of those results, because at first the results are going to come really easy. So I might do 3 days of 30 minutes. And then when the results slow down a little bit on your fat loss, I might, instead of lowering my calories, I would do 4 days of 30 minutes, and then 5 days of 30 minutes, and then 5 days of 45 minutes, or 40 minutes. If you're at 5 days doing 30 minutes and then you add 10 minutes to each day, that's 50 minutes additional cardio. That's amazing. And then you could bring that to 45 minutes per, and that's what, an additional 25 minutes. An additional 25 minutes of cardio if you add 5 minutes, and then you could add 15 minutes to 3 of the days of the week, and that's an additional 45 minutes. It's incredible how much cardio you can get in. Now you might be thinking, I don't have time for that, and a lot of us don't, and I don't blame you. So you don't have to do 5 days a week of an hour a piece. I'm just giving you some ideas, but also think of it as like an opportunity. How much time? I know this is going to start off cliche. Just hang with me. I have an awesome free resource for you that is called the 30-Day Shape Up Challenge. It's 30 days of 4 habits that I run my clients through that is going to help you get a great start to your fat loss journey. And there's a bonus 5th habit in case you fall off the wagon at all. All my clients love it, and it's free. So just scan this QR code here or click the link in the description, and I'll send that straight to your email. How much time do you spend on your phone, surfing through social media? How much time do you spend watching Netflix? And you can take that. I'm not saying to stop doing that necessarily. I'm saying make that your cardio time. For me, I listen to podcasts, watch YouTube. I have YouTube Premium, so I'm able to, listen to it while my screen is locked, but also I will watch my YouTube videos while on the treadmill or whatever. I probably get all that done on the treadmill and on the way to the gym, so I don't spend my day actually doing that. So try to do something that's going to make it better for you. And it could be a self-help book. It could be music. I just don't resonate with that on cardio, because I want to do something that makes me feel like I'm there for a purpose and I'm getting better, whether it's, YouTube research or fitness or whatever. So I already mentioned this. So 3 to 5 days a week, at least, is what I would do in terms of cardio. And whenever I say do lots of cardio, I mean it. You'll see on social media and everything, there's this demonization of cardio as if doing more is going to shut your results down. It will not. You moving more does not. I guess you could think of it as like you're getting diminishing returns. Like your first day of cardio is the most valuable. Your second day is a little bit less valuable, but still going to give you great results. And a 6th day, might only get you an additional 5% results, but it's going to get you additional results. It doesn't like move you backwards, And so there's also this research on steps. I heard this guy on Mike Israetel's channel talking about it, Renaissance Periodization, where he said that people in tribes that get like 30,000 steps a day, they don't lose any additional body fat, which I think just has to be a bunch of hoopla. If you are sure, you might get diminishing returns. 30,000 doesn't get you double the benefit of 15,000, but you still get some benefit. And he never said that it didn't get them any benefit. It just said, it's kind of frustrating whenever you hear doing more cardio doesn't help you lose weight. It does. And I think that piece of advice is actually hurting people. It does get you more weight loss. Now, with that said, there's nuance to this. You want to make sure to keep your muscle mass, and we're going to get into that. You want to make sure to be eating enough protein, and you want the cardio to not be something that's going to kill you. So I would do something more like zone 2 cardio that you can do a lot of in the week without beating up your joints and beating up your body. So it might just be like a slight incline to treadmill at first. Maybe you start off at 3%, 3 miles an hour. And as you get more fit, you could do 3 miles an hour at 4% and 5% and 6%. And then that same, let's say you end up settling on 45 minutes for 4 days a week. In that same 4 days a week, same 45 minutes, no additional time commitment, you're now walking in the long term at like 10% incline instead of 3% because you've built up to it. And now you're burning way more calories in that same 45 minutes. So all of this is something you grow into. The days per week, the total amount of time, the intensity of the cardio, you're always keeping that at zone 2. Zone 2, you can think of it like, I try to, you can get more into it, and I'm sure there's a more correct answer. But with zone 2 cardio, you are trying to get the breathing as if you could hold a phone conversation, but excuse me, I keep choking. You can hold a phone conversation, but it might be kind of difficult, but not laborsome. Like you could talk to someone on the phone if you needed to. That's roughly zone 2. And so that's how I think of it. And I want you to do as much of that as you can. It's not going to hurt you, I promise. Okay, so number 4, lifting weights. So you do that 2 to 3 times per week, total body. If you want to do more, that's cool. Go ahead and do more. It ain't going to hurt you, again, just like the cardio. So if you want to do 4 days a week, I would start to split it. So upper body, lower body, you could do Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday, with Wednesday being a cardio only day. That's how I do it. Saturday is also a cardio only day for me right now. I want to split it into 6 really bad, but I just don't think I need the volume yet. That's a conversation for a different day. So at first I would start off with 2 total body lifting sessions, work out hard, work out smart, use good form. And then whenever you get more used to that, go to 3. If you want to and you just really love it, go to 4, but you don't need to. 3 total body sessions per day is going to be the majority of the results that you would ever need in terms of keeping muscle and having an attractive body at the end of your journey. That is all you would need. Now, if you're looking to maximize muscle growth, that's different. But you're going to get the majority of your results from 3 total body sessions per week. Okay. So don't stress out on it too much. Now, one of the most common mistakes that I see, I'll bring this up here, is that especially men tend to think of weightlifting as their weight loss program. I'll see it I'm part of 2 groups on Facebook. I think it's weight loss motivation for men and then weight loss motivation or something like that. One's just weight loss motivation, one's weight loss motivation for men. Great groups. But especially in the one with the men, I will see that they're like, working out today. And I never see them mention anything about cardio. I never see them mention anything about steps. They're just lifting weights. And really, there's a few people I actually keep up with on there. They're not progressing very much. You can progress long-term with just weightlifting, but it's mainly going to be done through the diet. It would be so much smoother if they focused on steps and cardio. And so that is a great way of losing your love handles, is focusing a little bit more on cardio and as a result of that, you're going to be focusing on steps. So lift weights to keep your muscle. Don't treat it as your primary method of weight loss. It is to keep and build muscle. And if you're new to this, you'll probably build muscle and you'll probably increase your metabolism. So it's definitely I'm not saying that lifting weights doesn't help you lose weight. It does. It's just not, it's in a different way. It's because it's keeping your metabolism high. It's keeping your muscle. And so it is very valuable, but just not as valuable as cardio and steps. Okay, so number 5 is going to be track progress. This is the most important. If you stayed this long, congratulations. It is going to be track progress and adjust. Without adjustments, if you have a plan and you're not tracking, your initial plan, I promise, will not carry you through. There's going to be something wrong with it, and that's okay. That's the part of practicing patience. Goodness, I'm mixed up in my words. I read this card and now I'm all mixed up. So patience. I want you to think about this in a year, at least. You could think about 3 and 5 years, but in a year, you're going to make such a big difference. I'm not saying you can't make a difference in 3 months. I'm just saying think about it in terms of a year. You're going to enjoy the journey the entire time. You don't have to reach the end. You're not going to be happy once you reach your end goal. I'm telling you, 3 months in to even a month in, you're going to be like, man, I'm feeling pretty good. Your clothes are going to start fitting differently. You got this, man. It's going to be great. But I also want you thinking about a year from now, not 3 months and I'm done, or 6 months and I'm done. Think about a year. And if you go all the way out a year, then it becomes a lifestyle. And that's what I would be focusing on is way more than a year. I'm not saying that things change after a year. I'm just saying be patient. Your weight is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, but mostly as a trend, it's going to go down. Don't worry about the ups. Don't worry about the single week. Don't worry about the holidays so much. If, in December you kind of break even, it's okay. For a lot of my clients, I'll actually have them, and it takes some convincing, but the scale ends up doing it for them usually. Through the month of December and the back part of November, we don't even really try to lose weight. We just try to maintain and enjoy the extra calories to build a little bit more muscle. So, yeah, be patient. But we're going to go into the actual tip of track progress and adjust. So, number 1 is going to be your weigh-ins. Number 2 is measurements, and number 3, how your clothes fit. So we're going to talk about those in order. So weigh-ins. Take your weight every day. Unless you're really sensitive to the scale and it really throws you off, build into that. That's okay. Maybe you start off with once a week. But there is a good chance that you take your weight on Monday and it happens to be a water weight spike up or down. Well, let's go with up. Happens to be a water weight spike up. And then you take it on the next Monday and it happens to be a water weight spike down. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at all, I lost 7 pounds and I lost a pound a day. But really, it was just a false weigh-in high. It's more here. And a false weigh-in low. It's more here. And you're just kind of flat. And yet because you only took it once a week, you couldn't make any adjustments. And so how long is that going to happen? Let's say that, it's a false weigh-in low and then a false weigh-in high. And you think, oh my gosh, I'm going backwards. And you make all these adjustments, you freak out or you give up. But really, it was more like this. It was more like you were going, slowly down. So weighing in every day is very helpful. You're looking at the pattern of weigh-ins, not individual weigh-ins. And that's why being patient and thinking a year out, it doesn't matter if individual weigh-ins for a week is off, because you're thinking long term. So that's weigh-ins. Number 2 in this, number 2 within this point is measurements. They're helpful. I don't have any of my clients take measurements, but it is totally helpful, specifically if you're looking to get into love handles. Let me explain why I don't have my clients do measurements. They just change too slowly. And if you are holding onto water, it completely throws it off. If you're not trained on how to exactly pull the same amount of tension, I mean, I'm sure I don't even pull at the same exact amount of tension, but there's special, oh my gosh, tape measures that you pull until the tape measure pulls out a certain amount. So it makes sure you're pulling with the same tension. But if you don't weigh it in the exact same spot, that's also weigh it. If you don't measure it in the exact same spot, for love handles, I would just go straight across your belly button. But either way, measurements are good. I just wouldn't, I'm more based on weigh-ins. And then how your clothes fit. That is a great one because one, it feels good, especially if you're lifting as well. You might feel your arms getting a little bigger. You might feel your shoulders getting a little bigger or whatever you want. If you're a girl watching this, you might feel your butt getting a little bigger in a good way. If you're working out your glutes, but then your waist getting smaller. So this is something I have, I don't know, maybe this might not be for you. This is something I have a lot of my clients do. I have them go out and buy a piece of clothing they really want to wear, whether it's a bathing suit or, a dress for my female clients or whatever, a shirt for guys, or an old shirt. It doesn't matter. Go out and get something that you're excited about or that's something that you're excited to fit back into and watch as you slowly fit back into that. It's very encouraging and it tells you a little bit more than the scale sometimes. Now the scale, I see people take that idea too far where they're like, my clothes are fitting better. It's been 4 months. And they're like, my clothes are fitting better, but I haven't lost a pound. That's not true. There is no way in 4 months you have not lost a pound and your clothes are fitting better. It's probably not going to happen like that. Could you gain 4 pounds of muscle, 5, 6, 7 pounds of muscle? I guess maybe as a newbie, and have lost 7 pounds of fat, maybe, but man, that's rare. At most, you're going to see a 2 pound, increase in muscle and a 2 pound loss of fat, and your clothes aren't going to be fitting different at that point. So if your clothes are fitting differently and, so don't take that too far. But over the course of your journey, as the scale is moving, it might feel slow, but it feels better in clothes. That is a great method of feedback.